And welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have finally locked it down and gotten married. Their nuptials in Vegas weren't the first time they said "I do" to someone. Both have been married before. Affleck was married once, and this makes the fourth marriage for J-Lo. Their multiple marriages may actually work in their favor. Here's Dr. Angela Jones talking about multiple marriages. Dr. Jones, the question is, can multiple marriages lead to everlasting love or long-term love? So explain that one for us.
So the short answer is it can, right? We learn from our mistakes. So if you are getting married multiple times, I am sincerely hoping that you're learning that you're learning what you did wrong, right? So you have to be a person who's able to self-reflect and be like, okay, well, how did I contribute to my last relationships, my last divorce, and how can I be better in this next marriage, right? So usually they say, you get married multiple times, you're kind of like eliminating the things that you like, the things you don't like, and you're just getting better with time and hopefully applying those lessons to the new relationship.
Well, and that's for, like you said, a wise person, someone who becomes wiser over time. But there are individuals who just get married and married and married and blaming the last person over and over again. And then by the time it's done, they're like a half dozen marriages in.
Exactly. So, if you're dating someone that has been married multiple times, listen to certain things that they're saying. Like, are all the divorces, all the relationships that they've ever been in the other person's problem or the other person's fault? That's a huge red flag that something's wrong. So that's why I use the word wise, because you need to be able to leave any situation, relationships, friendships, any kind of ship. Okay. You need to be able to leave those ships and actually ask, how did I contribute to the goodness of it? And how did I contribute to the bad parts of it? And you making sure that you're applying it to your new relationship. Now, sometimes it takes a couple of times for people to get there, a couple of relationships, a couple of divorces, unfortunately. But trust me, if anybody is listening and they have been through a divorce, they know that is one of the hardest things that you can go through. It's compared to death. So you don't want to do that again. So you need to be able to be wise enough to self-reflect and know, I had a really bad attitude in my last relationship. What can I do to fix that, right? And just applying those lessons.
Now, what about the person who is in love with the idea of being married, but not actually in love in that marriage? But they keep continuing, they go on and on to the next marriage and the next marriage because in their minds, they have to be married and they love the idea of being married.
Now, doesn't that sound like somebody that needs to go to therapy? Because clearly they're not in love with the person. They're in love with the idea of being married. You're getting married to the wrong idea, right? If you want to be committed to someone, spend time with someone, have a good support system, and build a legacy with someone, yes, you may be more ready for marriage. But if you just want to be married because that's what's expected of me, or that's what culture or society expects of me, or that's what I want for myself, or I want to be married because I can't be alone, these are all isms that they need to go to therapy and work out, because most likely the source of that comes from their childhood. So if they're, unfortunately though, there's a lot of those out there. People with the idea, I want that. I want to be a power couple. I want to look good for these Instagram pictures and these social media pictures. I don't want to be the only one at an event and not have a partner with me. So let me just get someone. Those are huge red flags in people. And truly sad. It is. It really is, because eventually you're always going to feel lonely. You could feel lonely and be married. All right. So those people, if they can't find that fulfillment with themselves and figure out what's going on with themselves, they're always going to have a void within them in a relationship or out of relationship. So hopefully you seek help. If you got a divorce and you want to start dating again, of course, I'm going to say you need to go to therapy. You need to figure out what's going on with you. So you just, like a fine wine, just get better. You just want to get better as time goes on. You don't want to just get weaker like a cheap wine. That's right. Sitting on the shelf, Exactly. Dr. Jones, for those who would like to contact you and know more about you, where can they find you on social media or online? On social media, you could go to Dr. Angela Jones, or you could go to my website at angelajonesphd.com.